You're digging through your pocket change, looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter, and you stumble upon a regular OL penny. No big deal, right? Wrong. Because what if I told you that one simple penny, one that looks just like the ones you ignore every day, could be worth a life-changing $2.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right today. We're diving deep into the 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, the rare, valuable, and downright legendary coin that's got collectors losing their minds. We'll talk about how this coin came to be, why it's so valuable, and most importantly, how you might have one sitting in your house right now. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be checking your couch cushions like your life depends on it. So, let's rewind to 2004. Gas was cheap, flip phones were the hottest thing, and we were all jamming to Usher's "Yeah" on the radio. Meanwhile, over at the US Mint, something very peculiar happened. A small batch of Lincoln pennies was struck without a mint mark, meaning they didn't get that little D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. Now, you might be thinking, big deal. It's just a tiny missing letter. Oh, but my friend, in the coin world, that's a very big deal. When a minting error like this occurs, it creates a rarity, and rare coins mean big money. Here's where things get really interesting. Most pennies from 2004? Worth exactly 1 cent. But this one? It's worth more than a beachfront mansion in California. That's because collectors love coins with errors, especially ones that shouldn't even exist. The 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny wasn't supposed to happen, and yet, here we are. To this day, only a handful of them have been found, making it one of the rarest modern pennies out there. And when rarity meets demand, that's when we get price tags like $2.80 million. First, check the date. If it says 2004, you're off to a good start. Next, look under the date. Normally, you'll see a little letter, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But if yours is completely blank, bingo, you just hit the jackpot. Condition matters. If it's in pristine condition, meaning it looks like it just left the mint, the value skyrockets. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in sight, let me tell you a quick story. My almost $1 million penny. A few years back, I got into coin collecting thanks to my grandpa, who always told me, "Son, every penny has a story." One day, I was sorting through an old jar of coins when I found a 2004 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. My heart almost stopped. I was that close to calling up a real estate agent to buy a mansion. But then I took it to a coin expert, and guess what? It was just a super worn-out regular penny. Talk about heartbreak. But hey, that's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know when you're gonna find the one. And trust me, someone out there will find it. It might even be you. So, let's do a quick recap. The 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? Crazy rare. Worth up to $2.8 million. And the best part? It could be hiding in your pocket change right now. Now, before you rush off to dig through your piggy bank, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Why? Because every week, I bring you the best coin collecting tips, rare finds, and strategies to turn your loose change into big money. And hey, if you do find this penny, don't forget who told you about it first. Maybe send me a postcard from your new yacht? Just saying, where we turn pocket change into life-changing money. Today, I've got a story that's going to make you run to your couch cushions, your car cup holder, and that weird drawer in your kitchen where everything just magically disappears. We're talking about a 1975 D. Lincoln penny that's worth, get this, $2.9 million. Yeah, you heard me right. One penny, almost $3 million bucks. And before you say, "Oh, come on, no way," stick around because I'm going to tell you exactly what makes this little copper beauty so valuable, how you can check if you have one, and what you should do if you strike it rich. And hey, if you love the idea of making money off of coins that people don't even think twice about, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more coin collecting secrets coming your way. So, first things first, why is this 1975 D penny worth millions? Let's break it down. The D mint mark means it was minted in Denver, one of the 3 mints making pennies that year, Philadelphia and San Francisco being the others. Now, normally, a 1975 D penny is worth, well, a penny. Maybe a few cents if it's in really good condition. So what makes this one special? It all comes down to a minting error. And if you've been watching this channel, you know that mint errors are like the lottery tickets of coin collecting. This particular 1975 D penny was struck on a 95% copper planchet. But here's the kicker. It was accidentally struck with proof dies. That means the coin has the same ultra-sharp details and mirror-like finish you'd expect from a proof coin, but it was minted in Denver, where proof coins weren't even supposed to be made. Well, only one known example has ever been found. One. That's why it's worth $2.9 million today. It's like finding a four-leaf clover on the moon while riding a unicorn. Okay, but what are the chances I have this exact penny? And look, I get it. It sounds crazy. But let me tell you a quick story that a few years back, I was at a garage sale, digging through a box of old coins. I was just looking for anything cool, maybe a silver quarter, maybe an old wheat penny. And this older gentleman comes up to me and says, "You ever find anything valuable in that stuff?" I tell him, "Oh yeah, all the time. Just last month, I flipped a nickel for a couple $100. He laughs and says, "Well, I got a penny here that's gotta be worth at least $1 million. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, sure, buddy. But then he pulls out this 1975 D penny in a little plastic holder, and I swear, my heart skipped a beat. The details, the shine. I knew it was something special. Long story short, it wasn't the $1 million penny, but it was still worth a few $1,000. And the best part? He had found it in his pocket change. That's right, just sitting there, waiting to be discovered. So if you're thinking, there's no way I have one of these, I'd say, how do you know if you've never checked? Check the date and mint mark. It must be a 1975 penny with a little D under the year. No D, no deal. Look at the finish. Does it look extra shiny, almost like a mirror? Does it have super crisp details? That could be a clue. Weigh it. A normal 1975 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours weighs significantly more or less, you might have an error coin. Get it checked. If you think you've got a winner, don't just throw it up on eBay and hope for the best. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and tell you what it's really worth. Now, before we wrap this up, let me give you one last piece of advice. Don't overlook any coin. I mean it. Some of the most valuable coins ever found were just sitting in someone's loose change. So start checking, because you never know when a 1-cent coin might be your $2.9 million ticket. All right, folks, that's it for today's coin adventure. If you learned something new, or if you're about to go dig through your couch cushions, make sure to give this video a like. And if you want more insider tips on coins worth money, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. I've got plenty more coin secrets coming your way, and who knows? The next video might just help you uncover your own $1 million penny. You're digging through your couch cushions, maybe looking for some spare change for a soda. You pull out a handful of pennies, nothing special, until you realize one of them looks a little different. You squint at it, turn it over, and bam! It's a 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, most people wouldn't think twice about a penny from 1987. After all, that was the year of big hair, cassette tapes, and questionable fashion choices. But here's the kicker. This little copper beauty could be worth a mind-blowing $1.3 million today. Yes, you heard that right. A penny worth more than a mansion, a Ferrari, or a lifetime supply of tacos. So, what makes this tiny coin so special? And more importantly, how can you find one? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the wild world of valuable pennies, and by the end of this video, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. The mystery behind the 1987 no mint mark penny. Alright, let's break this down. Normally, a penny from 1987 should have a mint mark, a tiny letter under the date that tells you where it was made. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and nothing for Philadelphia. But here's the thing. In 1987, the US Mint had a little hiccup, and a small batch of pennies left the factory with no mint mark at all. At first, nobody really noticed. I mean, who inspects their pennies that closely? But fast forward a few decades, and coin collectors are going bananas over this rare mistake. Why? Because it turns out this wasn't just any minting error. These no mint mark pennies were struck on an experimental planchet, making them ridiculously rare. We're talking 1 in a billion level rare. Out of the millions of pennies made that year, Only a few of these special no-mint mark versions have surfaced. And when something is that scarce in the coin collecting world, the price skyrockets faster than your grocery bill after a trip to the store in 2023. One of these bad boys sold for a whopping $1.3 million at auction. Imagine the look on the seller's face when they realized their little pocket change was actually worth a fortune. Probably a mix of shock, excitement, and a slight heart attack. How to spot one in your pocket change now. Before you go tearing apart your house looking for old pennies, let's talk about what to look for. This is key. If your 1987 penny has a D or an S, sorry, it's just a regular penny. Wait, check. These rare pennies were struck on a slightly different planchet, so they weigh a tiny bit more than normal. A regular 1987 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams, but the rare one might be slightly heavier. A small difference, but a huge deal for collectors. Since these were struck differently, the details on Lincoln's face and the lettering might be extra sharp compared to a normal penny. So, grab a magnifying glass, a scale, and maybe a cup of coffee. You're about to go on a treasure hunt. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I was at a gas station, paying for my snacks, and I got some change back. One of the pennies looked kinda off, shiny, slightly different. I held on to it for a bit but didn't think much of it. Fast forward a week, and I was scrolling through a coin collecting forum when I saw a post about rare pennies. I went to check my stash, but guess what? I had already spent that penny on a pack of gum. I basically handed over a potential fortune for a piece of minty freshness. Moral of the story? Check your change. You never know when you might be holding on to a small fortune. Okay, so let's say you hit the jackpot and find one of these ultra-rare pennies. What's next? You don't just walk into a bank and demand $1 million. Before anyone believes your penny is worth anything, you need a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm it's legit. Once it's certified, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers can help you sell it to serious collectors. Avoid scammers. If someone offers you a quick cash deal for your rare coin, run fast. You don't want to sell $1 million coin for pocket change. So, what did we learn today? First, always check your pocket change. You could be carrying $1 million coin and not even know it. Second, rare pennies like the 1987 no-mint mark version prove that small mistakes can turn into big paydays. And third, never underestimate the value of a simple penny. Now, here's your mission. Go grab that jar of spare change, dig through your couch, or check that old piggy bank from when you were a kid. If you find a 1987 penny with no mint mark, you just might be the next millionaire. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more tips on rare coins that could be hiding in your pocket right now. Who knows? The next time you find a penny, it might just change your life. What if I told you that a regular old penny, the kind you might find in your couch cushions or at the bottom of your car's cup holder, could be worth a life-changing $1.4 million? Sounds like something out of a coin collector's dream, right? Well, today, we're talking about a rare and mysterious 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that has sent the coin collecting world into a frenzy. People are hunting through their spare change, hoping to strike it rich. And if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear what makes this little copper beauty so valuable. But before we dive in, let me tell you a quick personal story about how I almost threw away a coin that turned out to be worth some serious cash. A few years ago, I was at my local coffee shop, digging through my pocket for change because, for some reason, I refused to use my debit card for a $2 coffee. I pull out a handful of coins, and among them is this old, beat-up penny. It looked different, something about the color and the way it felt, but I was in a hurry, so I almost tossed it into the tip jar. Thankfully, my inner coin nerd stopped me. I took it home, did some research, and boom! It turned out to be a rare error coin worth hundreds of dollars. That was the day I learned that checking your change could literally pay off. And that's exactly why you need to know about the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Because you might have one sitting right under your nose and not even realize it. What's so special about this penny? So, what makes this penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Let's break it down. Normally, pennies from 1978 should have a mint mark, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But some coins mysteriously lack a mint mark, meaning they were struck in Philadelphia but somehow missed the usual imprint. This is incredibly rare because by 1978, the US Mint had pretty tight quality control. Think of it like finding a can of soda with no label. It's not supposed to happen, but when it does, collectors go crazy for it. Besides the missing mint mark, some of these pennies also have striking errors, like double die obverse, where the design looks slightly duplicated or off-center strikes. These errors make the coin even more desirable. It's kind of like when a baseball card gets printed with a player's name misspelled. It becomes a collectible, not because it's perfect, but because it's flawed in the coolest way possible. Now, here's the wild part. The value of a rare coin isn't just about how old it is. It's about how many collectors want it. Right now, collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for unique pennies, especially high-grade ones. A 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny recently sold for $1.4 million at auction because it was one of the finest specimens ever discovered. That's right. Someone literally turned a penny into $1 million fortune. Could you have one? Here's how to check. All right, now that I've got you scrambling to check your penny jar, here's what you need to do. Look for the date. Make sure it's a 1978 Lincoln penny. Check for a mint mark. If there's a little D or S below the date, sorry, no jackpot for you. But if there's nothing there, you might be onto something big. Inspect for errors. Use a magnifying glass or your phone camera to check for doubling on the letters or an off-center strike. These increase the value significantly. Get it graded. If you think you have a rare one, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade coin in pristine condition could be worth serious money. Conclusion: your penny hunt starts now. So, here's the deal. Your spare change could be worth more than just a cup of coffee. And the best part? It costs you nothing to check. Imagine telling your friends, "Yeah, I just found $1 million penny in my sock drawer." You'd instantly become the most interesting person at every party. So go dig through your piggy banks, check your pockets, and if you find a 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, get it checked ASAP. Because that little piece of copper might just change your life. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth money, rare finds, and smart collecting strategies, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more tips, tricks, and hidden coin treasures coming your way. You're digging through your pocket change, maybe looking for a lucky penny, and boom, you find a plain OL 1976 Lincoln penny. No mint mark, nothing fancy. You're about to toss it in a jar, but wait, what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a life-changing $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your house, let's talk about why this specific coin is so rare, how to tell if you have one, and most importantly, what to do if you strike it rich. And hey, if you love talking coins and making money from spare change, don't forget to stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into the treasure hunt. The day I almost tossed a fortune now. Before we get into the juicy details, let me share a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was going through a bunch of pennies. Just another day in the life of a coin nerd. I had a pile of 1976 pennies, and I wasn't thinking much about them. Almost threw them back in the jar. But then, I noticed something strange about one of them. No mint mark. At first, I thought, no big deal. But then, I did a little research. And let me tell you, when I found out how much a no mint mark 1976 penny could be worth, I nearly fell out of my chair. Now, spoiler alert, I didn't have the $1 million penny. But ever since then, I've checked every single 1976 penny I come across, and trust me, you should too. Why is the 1976 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable? All right, let's get down to business. Why is this specific penny worth over $1 million? It's a minting error. The US Mint typically places a small letter on coins to show where they were made. If a penny was struck in Philadelphia, it usually doesn't have a mint mark. But in 1976, a small batch of these pennies was struck in San Francisco without the S mint mark. Oops. That little error made them incredibly rare. Only a few exist. No one knows exactly how many were made, but experts believe only a handful slipped into circulation before the mistake was caught. That means most of these pennies are lost in piggy banks, coin jars, or, brace yourself, buried under couch cushions. Collectors will pay big money. Because so few exist, serious collectors are willing to pay an insane amount of money for one in pristine condition. One recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million at auction. How to tell if you have one? Okay. So now you're probably wondering, do I have $1 million penny sitting in my house? Look for the year first. Make sure it's a 1976 penny. Seems obvious, but trust me, you don't want to mix it up with another year. No mint mark? Flip that penny over and check below the date. If you see a small D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, sorry, that's not the jackpot. But if it's completely blank, now you're onto something. Condition matters. If your penny is scratched up and worn down, it might not fetch a huge price. But if it's in mint condition, you could be looking at serious money. Best bet? Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Okay, let's say you hit the jackpot. You find a 1976 no mint mark penny. What's next? Do not clean it. I repeat, do not clean your coin. That can actually lower its value. Just keep it safe. Get it authenticated, take it to a reputable coin dealer, or send it to a grading service. This step is crucial to confirm that it's the real deal. Auction it off. If it's legit, you have two options. Hold on to it and let the value grow, or sell it at an auction where collectors will battle it out for your little copper fortune. So, there you have it. The 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a simple little coin that could make you a millionaire. If you're not digging through your penny jar by now, I don't know what to tell you. Who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. And hey, if you love discovering valuable coins and learning how to turn pocket change into big bucks, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I drop new videos every week about rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and how to find hidden treasures in everyday places. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's keep this treasure hunt going. Alright, folks, buckle up because today, we're talking about a humble little penny that could change your life. Yes, a 1-cent coin that might just be sitting in your piggy bank, your junk drawer, or that old coin jar your grandma gave you. And guess what? It's worth a jaw-dropping $1.60 million. Abe Lincoln must have personally signed this thing in blood for it to be worth that much. But no, this is all about a rare minting error, a little oopsie, at the U.S. Mint that turned an ordinary 1971 Lincoln penny into a millionaire's dream. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to check your pennies, what makes this one so special, and whether you might be the next lucky collector to cash in big AO. And before we dive in, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin without even realizing it. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, buying a coffee, and the cashier handed me my change. I looked down, saw an old, worn-out penny, and almost chucked it into the leave a penny, take a penny tray. But something told me to hold on to it. Later that night, I did some digging and discovered that the penny I almost gave away was a 1943 steel cent, worth hundreds of dollars. Ever since that day, I've been obsessed with checking every single penny I come across. And let me tell you, after hearing about this 1971 penny, you're never going to look at loose change the same way again. So, what makes the 1971 Lincoln penny so valuable? It all comes down to a rare doubling error known as a double die obverse. In simple terms, the coin was struck twice by the minting press, but slightly off-center the second time. This created a noticeable doubling effect, especially in the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1971. If you have one of these, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Alright, grab your magnifying glass. Yes, it's time to play detective. Here's what you need to look for: an S mint mark below the date, indicating it was struck at the San Francisco Mint, a strong strike. This coin should have crisp details, even if it has circulated a bit. Now, this is where things get spicy. If you happen to find one of these pennies in pristine condition, graded MS 65 or higher, you're looking at a payday of up to $1.60 million. Even if your coin isn't in mint condition, lower grade examples can still fetch thousands of dollars. So, if you've got a jar of old pennies lying around, it's time to start hunting. If you think you have one of these rare coins, don't take it to your local grocery store. I repeat, do not spend it on a pack of gum. Check with coin dealers, auction houses, or online marketplaces like Heritage Auctions or eBay. Consider attending a coin show. Yes, those exist, and they're like Comic-Con for coin nerds. Right now, rare error coins are hotter than ever. With more people getting into coin collecting, These rare finds are skyrocketing in value. So, even if you don't have a 1971 penny today, keep looking. There are plenty of other valuable pennies out there. Always check your pocket change. Look for doubling on 1971 pennies. Get your coin authenticated before selling it. Never underestimate the power of a penny. Now, if you're thinking, dang, I need to start checking my change, then you're absolutely right. And lucky for you, I've got tons of other videos on rare coins, valuable finds, and collecting strategies to help you make big money from small change. So, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin before. And if you do find that $1,000,000 penny, just remember, I get a 10% finder's fee, right? All right, coin collectors and curious minds, buckle up because today we're diving into one of the wildest, most mind-blowing modern coin discoveries, a 2018 D. Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. A 2018 penny? But I have tons of those sitting in my couch cushions. Well, before you go flipping over your furniture, let's break down exactly why this particular penny is worth more than most houses. But first, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I found a penny on the sidewalk. It was just lying there, all lonely and sad. I picked it up, thinking, hey, maybe it's lucky. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. I scratched off a lottery ticket later that day and won absolutely nothing. But imagine if that random penny turned out to be worth a fortune. That's exactly what happened to one lucky collector, so grab a drink, sit back, and let's talk about how a regular-looking 2018 D. Lincoln penny could turn you into a millionaire overnight. You see, most pennies from 2018 are worth, well, 1 cent, maybe 2 cents if you're feeling generous. But this special one? It's got a rare and mind-blowing error. This penny was struck on a planchet mint for a 1943 steel penny instead of the standard copper zinc mix. That's right, this little guy shouldn't even exist. Somehow, an old steel blank got mixed in with the modern coins at the Denver Mint and BAM, a 2018 D penny that looks completely different from the rest. Now, here's the crazy part. Only one of these has ever been found. That's right, just one. It's like winning the lottery, but with pocket change. Most error coins have at least a few known examples, but this one? It's one of a kind. And you know what that means. Collectors went absolutely wild when it hit the auction block. A collector in Colorado found this odd-looking penny while searching through a roll of bank-wrapped coins. At first, they thought it was just some weird discoloration. But after a little research and a lot of excitement, they realized they had something truly special. They sent it off to be authenticated, and when the experts confirmed it was real, boom, instant millionaire. Great question. It all comes down to rarity, history, and demand. Serious collectors will pay big bucks for coins that shouldn't exist. And when there's only one known example, the price skyrockets. Think about it this way. If you were the only person in the world with a certain rare sports card or comic book, how much do you think collectors would offer you for it? Plus, let's be honest, there are some really rich collectors out there who just love owning the rarest coins. Now, before you start dumping out every penny jar in your house, here's the deal. This was likely a one-time mistake. But mistakes do happen. And if a 1943 steel blank ended up in the 2018 minting process, who's to say there aren't others still out there? If you want to search, keep an eye out for a 2018 D penny that looks silver or steel-colored instead of copper. If you find one, get it checked immediately. Because if history repeats itself, you could be the next lucky collector. All right, folks, here's the takeaway. Always check your change. You never know when a tiny mistake at the mint could turn into a massive payday. And hey, if you don't find $1,000,000 penny, don't worry, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there. That's why you should subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the next big find. Who knows? The next time you pick up a penny off the ground, it might just make you a millionaire. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep the hunt going. All right, folks, buckle up because today we're talking about a penny. But not just any penny. This one could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. That's right, a little copper coin that once bought a piece of candy, back when that was a thing, is now worth more than most houses. I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny? Really? Oh, I get it. I used to think the same thing. In fact, I once had a huge jar of pennies and, like most people, I figured they were only good for annoying cashiers or keeping the washing machine entertained. But then I learned the truth. Some pennies are hiding in plain sight, just waiting to change your life. So, grab a cup of coffee, a magnifying glass, and maybe check your couch cushions, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this 1964 D. Lincoln penny so special, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to pay a fortune for it. Alright, let's get down to business. The 1964 D penny is a Lincoln cent, meaning it has good OL, Honest Abe on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But what makes this particular penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to a rare minting error. In 1964, the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark, struck millions of pennies. But some of them were accidentally made with the wrong metal composition. Instead of the usual bronze mix, a few were struck on a silver planchet, which means they look just like a regular penny but are actually a completely different material. These errors were never meant to leave the mint. The US Mint had a policy of melting down old coins to reuse metal, and mistakes like this were supposed to be destroyed. But somehow, maybe a sneaky worker, maybe a lucky mix-up, a few of these silver pennies made it out into the world. And now, collectors are willing to pay millions to get their hands on one. First, check for that little D mint mark under the date on the front of the penny. If there's no D, sorry, but it's not the one we're after. Weight test. A regular 1964 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. But the rare silver one? It's lighter, around 2.5 grams. If you don't have a scale, try comparing it to a normal penny. If it feels suspiciously light, you might be onto something. The silver composition gives it a different look. It might have a slightly whiter or shinier appearance compared to normal copper pennies. And if you drop it on a table, it should have a higher pitched ring than a regular penny. Now, don't go throwing all your pennies around the house just yet. Let's talk about what to do if you think you found one. So you've checked your old piggy bank, dug through your car's cup holder, and boom, you think you found a 1964 D silver penny. Now what? Don't clean it. Seriously, I know it's tempting to polish it up so it shines like a new car, but cleaning coins actually lowers their value. Collectors want them in their original condition, dirt and all. Get it authenticated. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify if it's real and give it a grade, which can make a huge difference in how much you can sell it for. Cash in. Once your coin is certified, you can list it at major auction houses or private collectors who are willing to pay serious money for these rarities. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. We found this old shoebox filled with coins. I almost tossed it aside, but he insisted we check every single one. And guess what? He had a rare wheat penny worth over $5,000. I'll never forget his face when he realized that an old coin sitting in his garage for decades could pay for a vacation. Since then, I've been obsessed with checking my change. It just goes to show, you never know what treasure might be hiding right under your nose. So, there you have it. The 1964 D silver penny. A tiny little coin that could be worth a fortune. If you're serious about coin collecting or just love the thrill of the hunt, start checking your pennies. You never know. You might be sitting on $1 million payday. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week about coins worth money, rare finds, and smart collecting strategies. Plus, you'll get all the tips and tricks to turn pocket change into serious cash. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Imagine this. You're sifting through your pocket change and suddenly, you spot a penny that could be worth a whopping $2 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, before you start planning your next vacation, let's dive into the world of the 2009 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and uncover the truth behind its value. In 2009, to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday, the U.S. Mint released a special series of pennies. These coins featured 4 unique designs on the reverse side, each depicting a different phase of Lincoln's life. A log cabin representing Lincoln's humble beginnings, young Lincoln reading while taking a break from rail splitting, professional life, Lincoln standing in front of the Illinois state capitol, the half-completed U.S. Capitol dome, symbolizing a nation divided during his presidency. Now, You might be wondering, are these pennies rare? The short answer is, not really. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 129.6 million of these coins without a mint mark. While that's a relatively low number compared to other years, it doesn't make them exceptionally scarce. In circulated condition, these pennies are typically worth their face value. Just 1 cent, however, the plot thickens when we talk about uncirculated or high-grade specimens. Coins that have been impeccably preserved can fetch a premium. For instance, a 2009 Lincoln Presidency penny graded MS68RD, which means it's in near-perfect condition with full red luster, sold for $4,700 in a 2016 auction. But such pristine examples are exceedingly rare, so where did this $2 million figure come from? It's possible there's some confusion with other rare pennies. For example, the 1943 bronze Lincoln penny is a legendary rarity. During World War II, most pennies were struck in steel to conserve copper. A few bronze planchets, the metal discs used to make coins, were mistakenly used, creating a rare error coin. One of these elusive pennies fetched $240,000 at auction. While not quite $2 million, it's still a hefty sum for a 1-cent piece. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was helping my grandmother clean out her attic when we stumbled upon an old jar filled with pennies. My heart raced as I imagined uncovering a rare treasure. We spent hours examining each coin, only to find that most were common pennies from the 80s and 90s. Just as we were about to give up, I spotted a 2009 Lincoln penny with the formative years design. While it wasn't worth a fortune, it sparked a newfound interest in coin collecting for me. Sometimes, it's not about the monetary value but the history and stories behind each coin. In summary, while the 2009 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln pennies are a fascinating part of numismatic history, they're not the golden ticket to a millionaire's lifestyle. However, coin collecting can be a rewarding hobby, offering a tangible connection to the past. If you're eager to learn more about coins that could be hiding valuable secrets in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button. Join us as we explore more tips, strategies, and stories about coins worth money. Who knows?